What is up, guys? Zan here with sub tip number 6. Today's edition of sub tips is going to talk to you guys about how to deal with the near close flex formation. This is a very popular formation right now in competitive circles, also in head to head. You're seeing a lot of players running it, and had several requests over the last 2 weeks to do some content on this. I'm not going to lie to you, this is a formation that has given me trouble, and even will still every now and then give me trouble from game to game. Now, what I'm here to kind of teach you guys are the fundamentals of how to defend this. The vast majority of players who run this on me will not move. I will say that if you can establish a fullback dive on me and pick up 3 yards consistently, that'll give me trouble. But that is pretty much fewer and further between with each passing day. So, we're doing a good job with it. So let's go ahead and start off. Obviously, this is a 3-4 bear defense. We're going to talk about in the near close flex how to defend your basically your fullback dive, and also obviously post drag, your Texas type things. My approach with this defense is very similar. Excuse me. Very, very similar to how I defend pretty much all compression sets. I mean, you may have noticed if you guys have been subbed and gotten all 6 of these sub tips, if my opponent is any type of compression set, I am going to be calling the 3-4 bear, and I'm going to be calling the pinch dog 3. So that is our cover 3 match. I mean, you can tell. I mean, I've got almost 7,000 calls in this right now. And the way that I run this, as you guys know, is I try to have a ability rusher right here. So we actually don't, but I'll try to move. Bosa out there just for the sake of this. And then you try to have an ability rusher out here as well, where Quan Alexander is. Obviously, he doesn't. And then you want an ability rusher right in the middle as well. So you want, I like to basically run pinch dog 3 with 3 pass rush elites. And then my outside linebackers will also have edge threat elite on top of that. And it just absolutely screams at people. So personnel-wise, this is pretty much how I run it. Now, as far as stopping the fullback dive, there is a little bit more to this. You actually need to have pretty good acceleration and speed at the 2 defensive end spots. Where I've got Armstead and D Ford, you really need to have that if you can. And it'll make sense as to why here when I show this to you. I've already done a YouTube video on the YouTube channel showing how to shut down the fullback dive, but I'm going to include it here for those of you that aren't supporting me on the YouTube channel. If you're not supporting me on the YouTube channel, just do me a quick favor. Head over to youtube.com/ZanMadden. It's the same name as my Twitch channel, basically. And hit the subscribe button over there. I upload every single day. So I taught the YouTube channel how to stop the fullback dive. I'm going to teach you guys how to basically bag all the routes. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Enough talking about it. The way that you're going to run this is you're going to want to run your pinch dog 3 with the hook curl on the receiver side. So you've got 2 receivers. It's pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and set post drag as an audible. I'm going to go ahead and set Texas as an audible, and also flanker drive. So we'll talk about those 4 plays. They're pretty popular. So we'll start off with the fullback dive. Fullback dive, you're going to call pinch dog 3. And I'm going to move this ball here. Players like to run this so they can roll out. Now, here's why I think this offense is not as good as tight offset tight end. In tight offset tight end, you can float the running back with a motion of your running back around the quarterback. And all of a sudden, I have to guess which side you're running Y out halfback swing to. In this formation, the rollout side. The rollout side is the receiver side. It's pretty easy to figure out. Now, obviously, they could roll out to the left and try to throw a skinny post, but we're going to take that away where it's never going to be a problem here. So let's go ahead and show you here. What we're going to do is we're going to base align this defense and then press. That's how I play all compression sets, because rollout corners, we have talked about it so much. If you run a rollout corner and you're in compression, and I run a pinch dog 3 and I baseline and press my outside thirds, and you try to go and throw a corner route, you're not going to be able to do that. So we've shown it so many times. I mean, like pretty much every rollout offense is going to have that corner route to the wide side that Richard Sherman in this play is going to take away. And I'll illustrate that. I actually don't have any route chems here on the Ravens now that I just thought about it as I got into this video. But I'll illustrate that since we are on the West Coast. I'll show you guys that at a bunch here in just a second to try to hammer that home. So let's first go ahead and talk about the fullback dive, though. So What I like to do once I baseline and press is I take this safety. I make sure that he doesn't move because when you press, he moves out here. I like to keep him right here at this linebacker spot, and then I put him into a deep half. He goes into a deep half because that is going to one-play touchdown proof a fade to either the A receiver or the B receiver while the other player runs a corner. So the corner is going to pull down Richard Sherman, so you don't want to fade getting over the top of Richard Sherman. That is the purpose of the deep half. So that's why this guy plays the deep half. My user on this play is this guy, this free safety, and I like to stand right here. Now, typically speaking, with the fullback dive, you want really good speed and excel at this spot where D Ford is and where Arik Armstead is. Because if you do this right and you use her right here and they run the fullback dive, D Ford, more often than not, will get pushed into the fullback as he takes the handoff. So we'll see if this does it right here. You see how he gets pushed right into him? That is exactly what we're looking for. So you want really good speed and acceleration at this spot if possible. So again, when we start this off, pinch dog 3, baseline, press. You make sure that you keep that safety there. You don't want him to move. Put him into a deep half and walk this guy down. If you're just facing fullback dive, you're done with this setup. This is it. This is all you have to do. That way, when they snap this ball, D Ford just gets shoved right into it. Really simple. Now, let's say that they were going to run their fullback dive at D Ford. So they playmaker it. We'll show you here how this is going to look. So we go ahead and run this here. Now when they run it, you see how the other guy gets pushed into him. Right there, he just got lucky, right? Got super lucky. But you notice how the other defensive end got pushed straight into the fullback dive to the left. So if they decide to flip their fullback dive, as long as you have good enough speed and acceleration here, which Armstead might not have enough, but you saw that like if you just have another version of D Ford, like search the MUT database and find somebody with similar stats, he should get pushed right into him. If nothing else, you saw he actually made the tackle right there, even though he didn't come in clean. They're going to run this fullback dive right into a wall. I mean, it is a pinch defensive line. You see everybody's crashing so hard to the inside. It makes it really tough to run fullback dive at it. So again, you see right here, like if they run the fullback dive, D Ford just gets shoved right into it. You basically haven't seen them pick up more than a yard at most on this setup at any point here running it. And I've run it probably 4 or 5 reps now. So this is your setup. This is how you stop fullback dive. And again, you see right here, here's an example where they got a clean block, the 1 out of 6. The thing is, you just want to show them, hey, you know, if I could stop you 5 out of 6 times, that's 83%. I'm guessing. I was told there'd be no math, but you know, if you could stop them over 80% of the time from running fullback dive, they're going to give up on that call after they've seen that 2 or 3 times. They're not going to trust it, nor should they. I mean, if they're stubborn enough to continue running it this way, I mean, just let them. Just let them. You don't have to worry about the rollout stuff at this point. But again, you see here, just time and time again, just shove straight into the fullback dive. Really easy. Now, let's go ahead and talk about rollout corners. So to illustrate this, because I don't have any corner route chems here, I'm going to try to show this to you at a bunch, just to kind of show you, again, we've seen how many people love to run, you know, like, for instance, deep corner. This is the same effect, right? So let's just imagine, I know this is tough to do here in this sub tip, but because I'm not actually in the near. Let's say that we're setting up the defense like so, right? We're running it the exact same way. So pretend that, you know, we're just in near close flex right here, but you know, you've got the 2 receivers and they want to run, you know, a rollout corner, right? They want to do something like this. And we'll just pretend that for the sake of this, we'll motion Brown in. He's now your quote unquote tight end in the formation, right? And Boyle's in the backfield and Ingram's in the backfield. This is why we run this coverage, is because if they go to do their rollout corner, what ends up happening is the deep half that I've got right here, Tart, he's going to stay on top of the streak or the fade route, and then Richard Sherman is going to take away the corner route. So you're going to see this right here. So you see when this happens, how Richard Sherman bites back down on that. And I know it's really hard to see in practice mode. It's like, well, Zan, that was wide the hell open. What are you talking about? If you guys watch me, I mean, if you're subbed to me, it's because I have good defense. I can promise you, you either just really enjoy supporting my channel and I appreciate you, or you guys have watched my channel and you guys have seen me play defense and you guys know that I bag the absolute oblivion out of any type of rollout corner in the game. It's because of this coverage. Practice mode plays it differently. What I want you to take away from what you saw on that example was that Richard Sherman all of a sudden had the attention to say, oh, this is my guy. So he's running with the streak and then boom, this corner route. You see how he locks in and tries to match this? This is where you're going to take that away. In MUT, your player will not be beat by, you know, 7, 8, 9 yards underneath. He'll be literally on the back of that corner route. You can click on and make picks. We do it all the time. all the time. And if you're having trouble with this, just come by the stream and watch me for an hour, and you'll see that I'll pick off at least 1 or 2 of those in the time while I'm playing while you're in there. Feel free to ask me questions in this video as well. Other people can respond, give you guys ideas of what I'm doing, and I can respond as well. So that is how that is basically the rollout corner. So again, you kind of see here how this is. If you do this and they go to throw a corner route of basically any type at you. So say they do this, right? So like they do this setup. Watch how Sherman is just going to be all over this. Like you go to throw that, see how Richard Sherman, that's a click on pick. Easy click on pick. So with the situation where the outside guy runs a corner, bagged. In the situation where the out guy runs a streak and the inside guy runs a corner route, a little bit less bagged, but still he's going to be able to allow you to click on and make that pick. So that is the general rule of thumb with the rollout corners, right? Is we're going back to the near close, and we'll show you now. So for instance, Texas, that's a play. I forgot that had a stock corner on it. We'll show you here now. So again, we do our setup to stop the fullback dive. So we're all set up here, right? Now, if they're just running Texas where they decide, okay, I'm just going to max protect, delay tight end fade, streak A, and I'm going to try to roll out and throw the ball to Hollywood Brown, you're going to see how Richard Sherman's going to play that. See how he just locks onto that? That's an easy click on pick. Super easy. Done. Okay. So I don't think I need to show you guys how to bag corners any further than that. That's really simple. Where this offense breaks your back is going to be with the tight end. The tight end is the backbreaker in this offense. But it's very, very easy to bag it. It's very, very easy to bag it. So once you've got them in pass mode, what I love to do is I like to go ahead and, for one, you're going to notice right away that they're either running a fade and throwing it out over the top of Sherman on the sideline, or they're running a seam and they're throwing an inside pass lead. If they're running a seam, Tart can play an inside quarter zone. That will take away the inside pass lead on the play Texas. So if they do this, max protect, tight end delay fade, and they just run a streak, and you can basically, with this play, you have all the freedom in the world. I'm just going to prove this to you. I'm going to spy wards. That way I'm doing nothing. They run this play. They're going to be looking for the inside pass lead. You see how I'm getting screamed at? That's the point here. You got an ability rusher smooth off the edge. Get a sack fumble. So again, this is how I run this defense, is you want those guys. As we get a sub coming through, appreciate the sub from whoever that was. I'll let that audio kind of finish there. Let me go ahead and mute my desktop audio. Apologies. But definitely not going to apologize for someone supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Anywho, we go back to this here. Go back to that setup here where you run the inside quarter, whatever. And let's just make my user useless here on the play Texas. Let's say that they run a setup like so, where they just, this is it, right? We've seen a lot of people do this. You're going to see, you throw that inside pass lead, that inside quarter is there the entire way. So this is like, in my opinion, it's so much easier to bag this formation than tight offset tight end. I don't know why people run this, because they want to stay away from 1-4-6. They want to run fullback dive. But to me, it's easier to cover this formation than tight offset tight end. So now where people are going to beat you is they're going to beat you with the tight end. So this is really the last part that you have to talk about in this is, the tight end route, because we have so much user freedom, he could basically be our guy. It's really that simple. So let's say that you run your deep half or your deep quarter here, whichever one you prefer. This guy right here, you could basically just say, okay, tight end's mine. And what a lot of people will do in this offense is they'll go to like post drag or whatever, and they'll try to run like they'll do something where they'll try to bomb you with a skinny post over the top, and then have the tight end on some sort of route, whether it's a post or a corner route to pull the zones down on that side. So let's say that, like, I know I can't do it because I don't have a tight end apprentice here. Let's simulate a tight end apprentice by putting Boyle on a deep out route. That is designed to pull down thirds. Well, we're in match thirds. So if he runs a deep out route, this guy is going to pick off that corner route just like Richard Sherman picks off the corner route to the receiver. So you don't have to worry about any corner routes on this play because you've got help over here that's going to do it. All you have to worry about with the tight end is an angle route to a tight end apprentice, or a post route to the tight end apprentice, or them max protecting and running him on delay fade. So let's say, for instance, that they are doing that. They're max protecting and running him on a delay fade. So what they're trying to do here is, they're trying to basically open up a one-play score. So we'll simulate that here with a little comeback route, smart route, yada, yada, right? They're trying to set up a one-play score. And if you are caught napping, which I'll allow myself to be on this play, they can get that. I mean, they'll be able to get that. You see right there, it's just a rollout bomb over the top. But you know that that's the only guy that could beat you in that spot on the field is that skinny post. So what you could do on this play, if you suspect this, go to your main setup. What I will oftentimes do on this play is I will take this player, Warner, and I will just say, you know what? You play man coverage. And that's all he has to do, is he will just play the man coverage. Now, if they start to run drags to the receivers and things like that, okay, fine. Like, yes, Warner won't be there to cover the drags, but that's fine. That's fine. If they're living on drags, allow them to. You've got 3 pass rush elites. Somebody's going to get home and sack them if they're looking at checkdowns. You could go ahead and just man up on the tight end. Now, if you don't want to, go ahead and take, for instance, you could take, if you know they're not running the fullback dive, you could take this guy, D Ford, and put him in man coverage on the tight end. That way, when they go to run their little one-play score, they go to their max protect, they delay tight end fade, and then they're going to do whatever they can to pull down the outside third on the left or whatever. So, something like this, you could just go ahead and pass commit. When you pass commit, that'll make sure that D Ford plays the tight end. And you're going to be able to get back with your users. So you see that tight end, he blocks. Now you see D Ford drops into coverage. I can get back and cover that route. They could literally never release that tight end route because D Ford has got it manned up. So a lot of those tight end backbreaker routes are just not a factor when you run the near close flex, because they use the corner route to the tight end if they have a tight end apprentice to pull this outside third. Okay, fine, that's covered. Like, they won't be able to throw it. And once you see that tight end break to the outside, you know that there's a skinny post coming. That's really the only thing that it would be really using. A tight end corner route would be to open up the skinny post from the backside on the play post drag. Now, the other thing that you do need to worry about, I really think the only 2 routes you have to worry about to the tight end are the post route off the line if he runs a tight end apprentice, or the angle route. The angle route to the tight end can be a little annoying. So what you may notice is that people will run that angle route, and if you're blitzing, they like to throw it. I mean, if you guys watch me, I throw a ton of them. I've got a high route master, so I throw them all the time. But those are the 2 routes that you have to worry about. Post is yours. Angle route, just make sure you take it away and then recover. It's that simple. So this is how you shut down all the routes. I mean, this is just a literal fullback dive and throw corner routes and bombs offense. And I showed you guys how to stop it in 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Now, if you guys want some pressure, we can still bring pressure. So, obviously if they're sending everyone out on routes, what I love to do is I like to blitz off the tight end side. This is one of those formations that I love to run my cover 2 invert blitz off the tight end side, because I'm just basically saying you're not going to use the tight end in any capacity off the line. You will have to run delay routes. And, yes, the cover 2 invert is a little bit rough because corner routes will get open, but we're trying to bring pressure. So if you catch them in this type of flanker drive, for instance, I think is where they will oftentimes run the wheels to the running back. So you'll see some stuff where they'll do some stuff like this off the line, where they basically just try to throw the ball to the running back quick. If they're running that tight end on a route, you should be bringing pressure. Should be. Greg's is a little bit weird, but in general, you should see pressure off that left side. And in fact, we really didn't get it there. But if you want to bring it off the left side, I'm just not a fan of running cover 2 invert against compression. I love pinch dog 3, especially the way I set it up. You get a pass rusher here with an ability. You get a pass rusher at Buckner's spot with an ability. You get a pass rusher here off the edge with an ability. You don't need to send pressure when you could bag them with 3 pass rush elites and drop 8 in zone. I honestly believe that. I'm not a big blitzer out of Bear. I know everyone else loves to run cover 2 invert and pinch bucko. I am the one who likes to run the coverage, and it bags all this compression stuff. So again, guys, I know this was a little bit shorter. It's only about 20 minutes, but hopefully I got the message home. This offense is, truthfully, I don't think there's all that much to it. I'm not gonna say it's bad, because it's a good offense. It can be really annoying. I mean, the fullback dive is the key. If you take away the fullback dive, that's ball game, because they're relying on that fullback dive to be so good that you blitz. And when they find out that they, can be bagged by somebody who isn't blitzing, that's where things get really tough. I mean, anytime I want, I just go to this fullback dive defense. I mean, you're going to set up your coverages. Everything looks the same. they go to fullback dive here. No, we're getting pushed straight in the backfield. I mean, I haven't run the fullback dive defense for 15 minutes, and you see how quick I just go right back to it. Because it's really simple. All it is click onto the box safety, base align press, make sure he doesn't move, put him into a deep half or a deep quarter, and you use it right here. Let them run their fullback dive. Have at it, bud. Like, you're not... I've run 7 or 8 fullback dives in this video, and never once have I picked up more than 2 yards with that fullback. Maybe, I think once we picked up. And you won't take those odds. You won't take a 10% chance of picking up positive yardage on fullback dive. You get them thinking that they have fullback dive, they're going to go right back to bunch. And that's what they all do when they face me on stream. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I really appreciate the support. Let the chat know. If you guys really enjoy the content, please encourage people in the chat to support with subs. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful or anything, but Twitch does take half of the sub tip money that I make every month. And this is what I'm doing for a living while I'm getting a website up. So soon enough, Twitch won't be taking 50% of my profit anymore. But do appreciate all you guys supporting, and we'll see you guys with our next video next week. Until then, get in the lab and good luck.